Hello there. Today we're continuing the saga of this atomic purple Game Boy Pocket that's been both my pride and my punishment for the last few months. As you can see, the screen right now is less display and more modern art. It's giving strong existential crisis in pixel form. Sometimes when I press on the front part of the shell where the ribbon cable is, the screen will work for about 2 seconds. This is the third video I've made on this console. If you missed the first 2 episodes of Why Do I Keep Torturing Myself with this Game Boy, let me catch you up. First, I restored it and replaced the front polarizer on its burned screen. In the sequel, I've added a cheap backlight, but as you've already seen, somehow I managed to turn a mediocre screen into a completely dead one. Today, in what I'm desperately hoping is the final chapter of this trilogy, we're going to install a proper IPS LCD backlight that hopefully makes this beautiful atomic purple shell look as good as it deserves. So here are the parts I've ordered from AliExpress. This time I've splurged a bit on a proper IPS LCD backlight that comes with its own motherboard, a ribbon cable with a touch sensor, and a fancy new glass lens. Quick side note, I've put links to all the parts and tools I'm using down in the description. Some are affiliate links, which means I get a small commission if you buy through them, but no extra cost to you. Think of it as buying me a coffee for entertaining you with my repeated failures, I mean educational content. Okay, time to break out my trusty iFixit kit for what I'm hoping to be the last time with this console. First step, as always, remove the battery. At this point, these screws and I have a deeper relationship than most of my dating history. They know what I did last summer and they're judging me for it. Okay, time to disconnect the barely functioning screen and then remove the previous backlight by desoldering the negative and the positive wires from the board. See this piece of foam under the display ribbon cable? This was supposed to provide support. Instead, it provided disappointment. And with that, we can say a final goodbye to attempt number 2. Thank you for your service, or lack thereof. You will not be missed. Now, I'll use some desoldering wick to clean up any excess solder. Actually, I think I went a bit overboard and removed too much. Better add a tiny bit back to make sure these connections are solid. Let's zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. See that? That's what in technical business we call not terrible, I'm improving. Next, I'm removing this Captain tape I added last time to prevent the wires from shorting anything, and finishing up with some cleanup with IPA and a toothbrush. Now let's take a look at our fancy new parts. First up, it's the screen's motherboard and this ribbon cable with a touch sensor attached. According to AliExpress product page, this sensor lets you toggle through different display modes and brightness levels. Sounds fancy, though I'd settle for just works at this point. Unfortunately, there was no manual included, because why would there be one? Luckily, the product page has some installation pictures, which I've studied like they're ancient texts that hold the secret to eternal happiness. I almost installed this ribbon cable backwards, which would have been on brand for me, but not great for the mod. Let's connect the display's motherboard to the Game Boy motherboard, and then connect the display to see if it works before I commit to more permanent modifications. Add some batteries, and let's see if this actually works. Yep, it does. Watch me somehow mess this up. Now that I know the screen works, let's disconnect everything again and get to the permanent modifications. I need to remove the buttons and position the new screen where it needs to go. This new screen requires cutting into the original shell, which I'm not thrilled about since I don't have a replacement, but sometimes you just have to commit. There's also this piece of foam in the package. I'm guessing it's a spacer or alignment tool. Anyway, let's install it according to the pictures and mark where I need to make the cuts. No pressure, just permanently altering a vintage gaming console. Time to bring up the only sharp pliers I own. They're not straight, which means my cuts will be as precise as throwing darts blindfolded after a few drinks. But I guess we can work with what we've got. Here goes nothing. Not a total disaster, I'll take it. Since my cuts are not that straight, I'm using these files to clean things up. And now to clean up the plastic dust with some IPA, I'm being careful not to leave any debris that could get trapped under the screen. Been there, done that. Time to remove this plastic lens and make room for the glass one. There is no particular reason for why I'm replacing it, except for the fact that it came with the new screen. Cleaning the edges where the new lens will go, and now carefully installing it. It's like putting a diamond on a crown, except the crown spent the last few months being repeatedly disassembled by someone who clearly doesn't know when to quit. And now to position the screen. According to the product page, this should be as easy as placing it into position. Yeah, sure. almost as easy as they say. Oh wait, I just realized that the batteries are still in. I'm only working with live electronics. What could possibly go wrong? Let's not find out. Before I close everything up, I want to make sure there's no dust trapped between the screen and the lens. I do not want to take this apart again. My sanity can't take it. Now I need to route this green wire to the top battery connector. I'm guessing this is what powers the backlight. The good news is this mod doesn't require any soldering. You can just wrap the wire around the connector like I'm doing here, but you could also solder it for a more permanent connection. At this point I'm just sticking with a solution that doesn't require any special skills. Time to put the buttons back and start screwing everything together. Each screw that goes back in brings me one step closer to either triumph or tears. No in between. If this doesn't work, I'm converting this Game Boy into a keychain. Please work, please work, please work. Whoa, this display is actually incredible. It's sharp, it's clear, it's everything I hoped for. Why in the name of all that's holy didn't I just do this from the beginning? Anyway, let's play a quick game to make sure everything is working properly. Buttons are responsive, screen looks amazing. This is what this beautiful atomic purple shell deserved all along. And check out this touch sensor. A quick touch changes the color palette and holding it adjusts the brightness. Let's just hope the screen lasts more than 2 hours. Well, there you have it. After 3 videos and countless hours of my life I'll never get back, this Game Boy Pocket finally has the screen it deserves. The moral of the story? Stop being a cheapskate and just buy decent quality parts from the beginning. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider subscribing and hitting the like button. Also let me know in the comments what's the most frustrating DIY project you've ever attempted. I'd love to see what you guys struggle with. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!